Hey, Facebook family, how are you? It's your girl, Tyra Lane-Kingsland here. Just going to bring my Perry family in here too. Hey, Periscope and Facebook Live families, how are you all doing this evening? Come on in, come on in. It is Tyra Lane-Kingsland, the founder of Inspired Life, where hearts are inspired to live fully, mind, body, and spirit. And that includes parenting. As y'all come on in, did you see the title of this post? What's wrong with kids these days? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So on this Sunday evening, I pray that you are finding you and your children safe, healthy, whole, wholesome, as we inspire ourselves to live fully, mind, body, and spirit. So you all come right on in. So happy to be joining my Facebook family and my Periscope family this evening as we are talking about what is wrong with kids these days. Listen, I had something go down with my kids today, and it had me to wonder what is going on with these children. But I will tell y'all the revelation that I received. So as you all continue to come right on in, again, my name is Tyra Lane-Kingsland, the founder of Inspired Life. Hey, Nick, thank you for the love, sweetie. Where hearts are inspired to live fully, mind, body, and spirit, and to be inspired parents. So if anyone is joining that is not a parent, listen, this message is for you too, because at one point or another, you were parented, and you will be in relationship with a child to some degree. So we can all attest that we want to know what's going on with children these days and what we can do to positively impact them. So let me tell you about my day. So I was at church and my children were in rare form, okay? Children just have a way of embarrassing you. I attend a mega church and I am a ministry leader in my church. And you know what? The one thing I ask my children when we go to church is, please don't embarrass me. But they have a way of doing that. But you know what? Today I'm not even embarrassed by it because I have the revelation that children are children. But today as they were in the halls, they were making noise. So much so that my baby stroller like nearly flipped over and my 12-year-old crashed and splatted right in the hallway. And it caused this big loud commotion. And I was wondering, what is wrong with kids these days? As people clamored around to see if we were fine, I'm sure that they were making judgments about what was wrong with my kids while my kids were in the hallway making noise. But you know what? Didn't faze me one bit. Hey, sis Sherry, thanks for joining. Didn't faze me one bit, because what I have realized is there's nothing wrong with kids these days. Children are perfectly fine. In fact, children are really, really amazing. From little inquisitive 3-year-olds to your adult children who are 25 and perhaps have rebounded and come back home. Children are awesome sauce. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Nisha, how are you this evening? Children are awesome, okay? The deal is us parents and what we need to do to get our own hearts right. You see, in that instance today, with the stroller nearly flipped over with my 1-year-old in it, and my 12-year-old splattering himself across the floor, for a nanosecond, I could have gone off. I could have gone off on the 12-year-old and asked him why he was being so playful with his other brother to nearly cause the stroller to flip off. I could have gone off telling the 5-year-old, why did you trip your 12-year-old brother? I could have gone off because I felt ashamed and embarrassed at church because here my tribe of 6 children were in the main halls of the church where the sound reverberates through the walls. I could have been embarrassed and ashamed. But no, I'm walking in freedom today. Why? Because my own heart has been changed. My own heart accepts the revelation that children are children and they're just fine. And what children need from their parents are people who are open and loving, are parents who are not parenting out of shame, out of fear, and out of judgment. Because you know what? That's where most of our parenting mind is spent. It's spent in the shame zone and the judgment zone, which is why we're concerned about things like, oh, I hope they don't embarrass me too much. Well, they have a way of doing that. My son, when he was 3, ran right across the table during Sunday school. Another one of my sons, when he was 2, hit a girl on the head at church with a wooden block. You know, but this is typical male behavior, right? This is what children do. This is how they learn. This is how they develop, and this is how they grow. And if we allow what's in our hearts, in our own fears, in our own judgment, in our own shame to cloud how we parent them, then it's us that needs the heart change. So again, I ask you, what's wrong with kids these days? Nothing. They're great. The question is, what will parents do to change our hearts? The question is, what will parents do in order to give children the love that they need and deserve? Our children are so loving. Our children are so deserving. And our children are so needing for us to parent them from a place removing shame, removing fear, removing guilt. And so what can we do to be those parents? How can we be the parents that love their children from a place of openness and from a place of vulnerability? Well, I've got the answer for you. You see it sitting right back there. Purposeful Parenting. And the subtitle of that book is Allowing God to Change Our Heart so that He can reach theirs. So yes, we're the ones in need of the heart transformation so that God's love can just flow right through us, so that we're a conduit of God's love and not a cul-de-sac. You see, because God is continually pouring His love into our hearts. And the onus is on us to allow that love to flow right through our hearts and out and on to our children. So that question, what's wrong with kids these days? Nothing. They are amazing. Your little people and mine. The key is for us to humble ourselves, to be vulnerable as parents. Are you ever vulnerable? Do you ever tell your kids how you're feeling? Do your kids know your deepest emotion, that you have fears, that you're afraid, that you're stressed, that you're tired? Do you seek to connect with them by meeting them right in their level? These are things that we can do in order to open our hearts, in order to give children the love they need and deserve. So I thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening, just for this nugget on purposeful parenting and what's wrong with these kids these days. Nothing. So I just say blessings to you as you continue to parent with purpose. If you do not have a copy of this book, you want to add it to your library. Okay. If you are a parent, grandparent, auntie, mentor, you need this book in your library. I am telling you, and you pick up a copy not only for yourself, but for a friend. And even more than that, you at one point were a child. And perhaps there are some areas in your own heart which need healing. Perhaps you, even in your adulthood, still need to be parented. Guess what? This book gonna walk you right through the process of healing your own heart so that you can give the young people in your life the love that they need and deserve. Okay, friends? So to my Facebook family and to my Periscope family, I thank you all for spending your Sunday evening with me for a few minutes. So peace and blessings to you until we meet again. Until such time, you can follow me on all social media outlets at Inspired Fully, and I pray you have been inspired to live fully, mind, body, spirit, and also in your parenting. Yes, Nisha, humility and vulnerability are two needed factors in parenting. Humility, humble yourself as onto a child. Who would have ever thought that? And that is a message for another day. So Nisha, perhaps we're going to come back and talk about the need for humility and vulnerability in parenting. Sis Sherry, I thank you. And so blessings to you guys. Take care, peace, and have a good night.